Hey YouTube, welcome to another Bright Spark TV video. Today I want to talk about Jamaica's tourism sector. I want to talk about Jamaica's tourism and what it represents to the Jamaican people. I always say Jamaica is not totally independent. And the reason I say that is because we have to be depending on foreign nationals to come to our country in order for us to earn the much needed United States currency, the petrodollar. What about production? What about manufacturing? Do you know what's the number one United States dollars generating service in Jamaica today? It's tourism. Back in the past, it was bauxite and sugar production. But now it's tourism. Year after year, we hear the government coming out, the Ministry of Tourism, they're coming out and saying Jamaica earned billions of US dollars through tourism. And that was about 10 years ago, we started hearing about the rise of tourism in Jamaica. We used to hear about bauxite, we used to hear about mining and sugar production. Until now, we're hardly hearing about any of those other productions or any of those other services or manufacturing processes that earn those US dollars on our behalf. We're hardly hearing anything about those anymore. And what we're more hearing about most significantly is tourism. So I was watching the news the other day, about 2 days ago, and I'm looking at the European nation known as Spain, not Spanish Town, Spain. And Spain is having a problem right now. For those of you who are keeping abreast of the news overseas, you can tell me what it is in the comment section if you know what I'm going to talk about. Spain is putting a ban on tourism. Spain is putting a ban on tourism. No more tourists for the next 3 years. And when I saw that headline and I delved deeper into the news, I was wondering, how is it that a country can do without tourism? Because I know Jamaica would suffer if we were ever to close tourism in our country for a week. Our economy would suffer. Jamaica could never do that. And what is happening in Spain right now is that with the advent of Airbnb, a lot of locals over in Spain, they can't get any houses to rent, or real estate is becoming very expensive for them. So what the government is doing now is to ban tourism. It's not like us in Jamaica and other third world countries where we need a visa and we need a work permit and other stuff to enter into certain countries. First world countries and citizens, they're born with a gold spoon in their mouth, so to speak. All they need to go anywhere is just to purchase a ticket and have a passport, and they can go wherever they want to go in the world. They're not like Jamaicans in other third world countries who we have to get a traveling visa, a visitor's visa, or work permit or whatever else is required for us to enter into those countries. So these first world citizens, they see Spain as prime location. What they're doing, they're just purchasing their tickets and they're going over to Spain to spend. They're booking these Airbnbs and they're staying over there 6 months. They're staying over there for extended period of time, and the demand on the housing sector is driving up the costs for these other local citizens who want places to rent. They can't get anywhere to rent because the prices for the rent is too exorbitant right now. So what the Spain government is doing, they're saying that they're banning tourism for the next 3 years. So all those Barcelona fans and those Real Madrid fans, they're gonna have to watch it on their television, or if they want to go to Spain, they're gonna have to book into those five-star hotels and those other large, larger hotels. They won't be able to get access to any Airbnb. And I'm thinking about our cheap Jamaican government, man. Like they just want to invite the whole world into Jamaica. And they're so friggin' selfish. When these tourists come to Jamaica, they want them to stay in the hotel. They're tricking them with this propaganda, this crime propaganda about, they should stay in the hotels and they shouldn't venture out amongst the local citizens because they're violent, all of that bull crap. And they're the only one getting the US dollars. And I'm thinking about it like, man, can Jamaica survive without tourists? Remember in COVID pandemic, when the entire world got locked down, our GDP suffered as a result of it because there were no planes coming in, and we, as local citizens, we could have entered those five-star hotels for as cheap as $50 a night. And we saw what happened. Now, when will our government do something in our favor where they don't have to depend on tourism? When will they bolster the manufacturing sector so that we can manufacture and boost our exports so we can get the much needed foreign currency? When will they bolster the financial sector where we can earn a lot of US dollars by investing in overseas stock markets, the S&P 500, and all of these NASDAQs and all of those foreign exchange investment tools that we can earn US dollars instead of inviting millions of tourists every year to our shore, and the local citizens aren't benefiting one bit. If the tourists go to the craft market, they don't want them to spend any money. They want them to just book in the hotel, use their credit cards or their debit cards, and never go out amongst the local citizens. There are so many stalls on the roadside leading to the rural communities, or persons who have up their crafts, their carvings and all of that on the road. You always see it when you're going to the rural communities. The only time we see tourists where I'm from in Jamaica is on those JUTC buses. You never see a tourist stop anywhere and disembark the bus and spend the much needed US dollars. So our tourism sector is very selfish. The players, the key players, the directors, the controllers of our tourism sector in Jamaica, they're very selfish. So I just wanted to talk about that in this video, man, because we couldn't do what Spain is doing. We're not so brave and we're not so rich as Spain to ever think about closing down Jamaica's shores to tourists. And I gotta say, man, I look up to Spain because if a country can really afford to do that, you know that there must be in some very good financial situation if they can close their doors to tourists and still manage to survive and pay their foreign bills. I mean, Jamaica, I like to think that we have a IMF credit card just swiping it all over the world, here, there, and everywhere. And when the tourist dollars comes in, that's the money we use to pay back these IMF bills and all of that. But you know, they should allow the local citizens to benefit from the large amount of tourists coming to the country every year. If they see safety as a problem or as an issue, let let them let them go ahead and, you know, designate proper security on the JUTC buses to travel with the tourists, so that if they come off the buses and they choose to do business with the locals and spend US dollars, they're not harmed or they're not in harm's way. You know, they should do all of that, but they just want them to stay in the hotels and spend all the money there. They're so friggin' selfish, man. But, you know, ladies and gentlemen, that's just what I wanted to talk about in this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more here on Bright Spark TV.